What's up, everybody? Arash Amini, Adamini Corp. As always, this episode of the Market Product Fit Show is brought to you by Jet Engine Marketing. Check out our free 30-day marketing leadership certification course. Everything you need to know to get a job, lead your team, level up, get market product fit. So in this episode, that's what I really want to talk about. Market product fit. It's not product market fit. Your product does not dictate what the market wants. The market dictates what kind of product you can sell. So you have to put the market first. It's totally natural to build what you want, and some people use that as a proxy metric for building something that others will want. Well, if there's a user already built in, well, then maybe there might be more. And I think that's true and it can work, but you have to have very clear emotional, you have to have emotional clarity on just as a person to know that your wants and needs aren't way off base, because most of us build something that we think is awesome and then it turns out nobody wants it, or we don't know how to sell it the right way to the right market. So I always work backwards. I understand what the market wants, and then I find the closest aspect of the business that relates to that market demand. So we line up demand, we understand demand first, and then we find the supply, the aspect, the product, the feature, the service of the business that makes the strongest connection. That fit is really important because that's about conversion rates in digital marketing. It is about not only getting someone to click on your ad and funneling off some of that traffic towards your opt-in page, but also having them opt in. And the more, 1 to 3 opt-in form fields, the higher the wall. So you getting, on average is around 2 to 3% opt-in to landing pages. The bar is really low right now because nobody knows how to do digital marketing right, and the biggest budgets are spent on the worst strategies. So you and I are able to really shine and get higher than average 2 to 10 times. Heck, I've gone 14 times higher than average click-through rates before, depending on the situation. And then your cost per click plummets because you are out competing everyone else, and so you're higher than average by X factor, therefore your CPC is lower than average by some Y-related Y factor. My point being, think of the market as an objective physical entity, not in the sense of a soccer ball, but more in the sense of a cloud. It's there, but it's diffused, it's opaque, and it's highly complex, though at a distance it seems very simple and straightforward. The closer you get, the more complicated it gets. So what you want to find is the aspect of the market that matches, an aspect of the market that matches with an aspect of your business at the highest possible, call it, in the strongest possible way, with the highest possible conversion rate of click-through rates on ads and then click-through rates on landing pages. That is a marketing lead. That's the smallest yet hardest step for most people to get to. So how do you do that? Real simple. You define your audience. You create a basic marketing persona, age, gender, location, keywords that they use to type in or that they describe themselves as, or things they're fans of, but keywords that you would actually use for targeting on the various social media platforms. Then you go on the various social media platforms, and I count Google as a social media platform. It's the winner of the search engine, original OG social media platform that connected our pages and our blogs and our projects and stuff with one another. And so you could find each other's websites through search engine. So Google and YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter. Let's leave Pinterest off to the side, and Snapchat as well. I don't see any strong case studies for conversion marketing out of those two camps, but if you want, you can always go there. But needless to say, what you need to do is make a simple table, find out how much traffic your keywords generate and the cost per click for that traffic from the estimated, from the ad tools in each of those platforms. So you go into Google AdWords, Facebook Ads Manager, Link Ads Manager. Those are different than the front end social media functionalities, the UI and stuff like that. It's a different software. It's a different piece of the company. My point being though that you want to find something with medium to high traffic and medium to low cost. That's the first place you focus your digital acquisition. You make a channel strategy for that, and you go until you figure it out. Because if they're there and you have something people want, then it's just a matter of positioning it correctly in front of the right audience. And it could take 3 months easily. An unqualified or unexperienced digital marketer it'll take 3 months to figure it out. But you can figure it out. It's just about getting into the head of the customer and really having a clear digital go-to-market strategy. What are they buying it? Where are they buying it? When are they buying it? Why are they buying it? How are they buying it? Right? Who is buying it? And the more serious you get about that digital customer acquisition, digital go-to-market strategy, the more quickly you'll be able to get your market product fit. And so for every client I've ever had, this is what I do. I do that first exercise, and then typically if they're selling a product, it's Google, and we'll go and, and their budget is reasonable, we'll go on Google, and between Google and Facebook, that's like 95%, 99% of businesses can use those things. What do we got? 444. Okay. And you hold, so you have a two-part experiment you're going for right now. You're trying to get ads to a landing page. Let's call it a 3-part experiment. Ads to a landing page with an offer. And you're trying to get people from the social media traffic source into your CRM or email list via this ad, landing page, offer sequence. And it's like the oldest trick in the book, but it is really, really important. And that line makes me look like I'm leaning. It's an optical illusion. My point being though, am I leaning? My point being though that you need to keep experiment on one variable at a time. So it's like a tumbler lock that you're trying to pick each little ring or whatever in a specific sequence, and you can't. You have to get each one, and so you have to in this case go sequentially. So first you get your ads to work, then you get your landing page to work. Okay, and your ads are going to be simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Only interchange the minimum requirements. So in Google, you would have a headline and 2 subheadlines. That's what you're really going for. The description or whatever, just put a generic sentence about the company and the opportunity or whatever. And then keep the URL simple too. Go to your homepage or go to a simple launching landing page. This is the simplest thing. Spend as little time on those things. You want to spend all your time on the keywords you're targeting and the headlines you're showing those keywords, those audiences. So you would go and you'd find the keywords that make sense through there's always a search tool in all of these things, and Google's is whatever the keyword tool. You find the keywords, you put them into ad groups. You start with one ad group because you're offering one thing. To me, the ad group is based on the offer. That's how I track things. So start with one ad group because you're sending them to the homepage. Put the business name and the version of the number of the campaign and audience offer in the campaign name. You can see all that in the free training manual linked below. But put everything you need in the campaign name because that'll show up everywhere else, and you will be able to know very quickly what happened and understand where people came through to become marketing leads or even customers eventually. And it's super helpful. And it's really good to get us down systematically at the beginning, because once you get into past 10 campaigns, you're going to have 30 ad groups and you're going to have 90 ads. It's going to be insane. It gets very out of hand very quickly. So use some reasonable nomenclature. You can see what we use in my training manual below. And this is the training manual I'm using for my staff. So this is literally my training manual. Okay, this is how I train my people. Although the real training comes in honing in real life situations, which we are supplying with this 30-day course as well. So you keep the URL the same. You put in some generic stuff for the description of the business, and then if it's on Facebook or you have a picture or a video, just use something super generic that you would, either stock image or something from the website already. You don't care about that right now. You're looking for the headline. If you're in Facebook, you can experiment with up to 6 images and see which one matches, but that's a little more nuanced. Here, you're gonna want to find the audiences that actually care about your product. So you're gonna start with a list of all the keywords that could possibly be used to describe who you're going after. Put it in one ad group. What you're looking for is various ways to craft your offer, your headline, your value proposition to see a spike in resonance, which is really click-through rate. All right, your base in Google is going to be, 2.5%, and depending on your industry, go know your benchmark. Always know your benchmark, and you're looking for something up to 2 times. If you have 2 times, you got a clear winner. Everything else is kind of not that clear, but you at least 2 times. That's a minimum. I shoot for 6 to 7, 10 times, and it's possible. You really just have to understand your customer, because your competition sucks. And if you've been getting 1.5% average click-through rate historically, you're part of that pool. You've been sucking down the average, so you can get above it. It just requires some basic understanding. So this is where the magic of marketing comes in. How can you describe your product for the given audience? And you really have to, the higher your EQ, the higher your empathy, the more you'll be able to put yourself into someone else's shoes and think, what do I want if, and even then it doesn't matter, because you have to systematically experiment. So at least be running 2 ads a day, A/B testing, if not ABC, 5 to 10 ads a day. But what you want is a clear winner. So in any ad group, the ad that's performing the best will typically, as long as you don't change the setting, will get the majority of your budget. So the software behind Google and Facebook and all these people will push your ad budget for that ad group to the single ad that's winning the most. And then you have a winner. It's letting the algorithm do the work for you. And then you can disable all the other ads unless there's a clear second, and you can repopulate with new ads. Or if it's doing too well, you can do that. If you're going to change the offer dramatically, I would create a new ad group, because mentally it'll help you. If you're offering free training, that's one thing. If you're offering a free download, that's another thing. If you're offering consultation services, if you're offering a SaaS trial, if you're offering free shipping on a CPG product, if you're offering free tours for a co-working space, right? These are different things, and you want to put them up accordingly. And your case, if you have a co-work space, you would maybe do free tours, free day, free week, free upgrade, right? Because in each one, just in the free upgrade ad group alone, you can be changing the language systematically and to great results. You have like 90 characters in Google AdWords. The first 30, the first line is so important. The difference between putting the word free and best as the first word, I've seen dramatic results. Offering the service as a service versus a software, that has had dramatic impact both ways. In one company, TruePad, God rest their soul, it was the market wanted a software, not a service. At AMO, which is doing great, their market wanted a service, not a software. And in both cases, they were selling the opposite. Because you're in your cocoon, you're focusing on so many things The market is this amorphous thing, and you typically only have connection with it either indirectly or through your sales numbers. But with this systematic ad placement, because remember, pay-per-click ads equal market data. There's just no other way around it, especially if you stick to the the core ad product on each platform. So Google AdWords and Google Video. You get into, stay away from programmatic, audience, banners, all that shit is 100% filled with scams. I mean, they say up to 30%, but it might be up to 80%. I've never gotten a customer through Facebook's audience network. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but maybe I gave up too early, but I've never gotten an audience. I get an insane number of clicks though, which is crazy. I get a huge click-through rate and a tiny cost per click. No audiences, no signups even, no marketing leads. So what the fuck does that mean? That means there's no real people behind that. There's no intent behind that. And I don't see anybody clicking on banner ads in real life. So sounds a little fishy to me. My point being though, every major ad platform, social media ad platform, you have to stick to social if you want to get a good ROI. Every major social media ad platform started with a single ad product that was in line with their community's like main user psychology, and then they splintered off more to upsell and upgrade and sell more services to advertisers. But the first one had to work with the community member, or else advertisers would never go. And so you see this like, what's the term? Just a steep decline. Serendipitous? No. Damn, what's that word? It's a steep and clear decline in results. So stick with that and you'll be good. And then you want to systematically, so start with campaign 1. You're looking for generic positioning of the business. Start generic, get specific. So you might say for a car dealership, for an electric car, you might want to talk about, leasing the car. You might want to talk about the carbon emissions. You might want to talk about the speed of the car. You might want to talk about the price point of the car. You might want to talk about just the major ways one could view this product. The technology in the car. You might want to talk about it being a Tesla killer, right? The positioning in the marketplace of the car. And you're going to see a variance in your click-through rates. And they're all going to be low at first, around average. But you're just looking for the highest ones. And anything above average is really important. And you're going to keep getting higher and higher above averages. So what I would do then, okay, let's say the speed of the car did the best. Okay. And who am I targeting? Well, I would be searching for I would looking for keywords around electric vehicle, electric SUV, alternative, what are they called? I guess alternative cars. You have to go look for the keywords that people are using to describe your product. You don't get to dictate those things. Number one mistake, you don't get to invent something new and call it something new. Unless you have mass media budget where you can educate everyone on this fact. For the digital game, for the average startup or marketing leader with a limited budget, you have to speak in terms of the market because there's so much other noise. You don't have a captive audience where you get to tell them about your tricolor technology and they have no choice but to flip the channel, and then they go see the billboard that they have no choice but to ignore or look at, and then they hear the radio ad, tricolor, tricolor, tricolor. That's one thing, that costs millions of dollars. Online, I get to swipe, what is it, right? To say no, whatever the no is. And so instantly. So you don't want to waste your effort doing that. You want to look for what they're describing. And the better you understand the language that the market is using to describe your product and relevant products and services, the more clearly you're going to see the market landscape, your market space. This is what people are actually talking about when they say market space. It's the words and ideas that we're using to describe a set of services clustered around, let's say, the electric vehicle industry. That's your market space. And to me, whoever's selling the most whoever's describing the product as close as possible or most closely to the way the market is describing it is the center of the market. They will sell the most because people will be thinking, and then it'll be apparent and clear that this is something that they need to look into because it's using the language it's talking to them. Do you know what I mean? So you put all those keywords in the thing and you look for the major ways to describe it, and let's say people respond to speed the most or performance. Okay, and maybe price. We now know a little bit, if over 1,000 people saw your ad, and I'll get to a caveat, and you got 1% click-through rate versus 10% click-through rate, it's statistically significant. It's a coarse data set. It's not granular, but it's enough. It's a litmus test on a scale of 1 to 10, right? But you want to make sure you always know, on Google especially, or search engines, what are the actual search terms people are typing in when they find your ad, and it might be totally irrelevant. You can get a huge click-through rate off of a broad match of keywords and be totally irrelevant. So you got to make sure the geo-targeting is right and the keywords are right. So you would go from broad match to phrase match and then exact match and see what happens and the difference, because you never really know. But let's say it's like the performance and the price. Great. Now we make a new campaign, 1.2, and we're targeting in those ad groups performance and price. And then we go in there and we make ads until we have a way to describe the performance and price that gets a higher than average CTR. And it might be a dead end. So then we say, oh man, nothing I do can get 2x, I can't get 6x CTR. So then you might go back then to the original campaign and say, let's run some more ads describing the company. And it turns out that actually leasing and Tesla Killer are doing substantially better over a longer period of time with more ads. So now that our data set is a little more granular, new patterns have emerged. We're going to grab those and we're going to go to, so maybe you made 1.3 to do that, and then you make 1.4 in 2 ad groups to do what did I say? Leasing and Tesla Killer, right? And because maybe people are looking for a Tesla alternative. Maybe that's the phrase that hits the nerve of what the zeitgeist in the market. And maybe people don't want to pay $75,000, even though they could. They don't want the commitment of that car, so they want to lease it. Maybe then you talk about leasing, and that's the aspect of that might be the aspect of your product or your brand that resonates the most with what the market's looking for. Lease a Tesla Killer. Maybe that's the phrase that gets you the high CTR. It's always based on what the people are searching, and you can systematically find it. So let's say you find 2 ads, and let's say the ad Lease a Tesla Killer does 6x or 6% CTR. So you're like, whoa, okay, now we got a winner. And you watch it, you run it for a week, and it doesn't drop more than 50%. It stays right around 6%. Awesome. Even if it drops to 5, great. This is steady, consistent, high quality traffic. You go look at the search terms. People are looking to lease electric cars. They're talking about shorting Tesla. They're looking for an alternative to Tesla and to be in their life. They're shopping for an alternative for Tesla. Okay, so now you want to build your landing page, and you want to take into account everything you learned that did and didn't work from your ad testing, and you really want to copy and paste your winningest ads and winningest keywords into an Excel document just for glancing. These words matter so much. They are the most important data for any company, because the words you speak is the position you take, it's the brand you build, it's the community that supports you, it's everything. So you then go and you make a landing page. And the first thing you're looking for in a landing page is a visual format that will do best. Most times, the highest conversion rates I've ever gotten have been on above the fold landing pages. So always start with that. In one section, what you're seeing on your screen right now is above the fold. If you have to scroll down, whatever's below this line that loads at the very beginning is below the fold. And if people have to scroll down, they're going to scroll really quickly, they're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, they're going to zoom through everything, and they're not going to see in detail everything you have. And so what you want to do, I'm getting 19 and 23% landing page conversion rates off of Google AdWords traffic for this very training course. And I will probably describe in detail with video overlay of what I'm doing inside the training course. Now, it's not there yet, and if I don't have a strong demand, I might back out of that statement, but I'm willing to do it if people in the training course are willing to find value in that. So these are like my secrets, right? This is literally what I'm doing right now. And my point earlier was above the full landing page. Give someone every piece of information they need and opportunity to opt into your contact form above the landing page. That includes a call to action button that either has the form built in, it's a form submit button, or you click on it and a form pops up. Lead Pages lets you make these lead boxes that pop up, so you don't have to waste extra. It's a way to it's a way to keep people opting in. It's a good conversion tactic, let me put it that way. And you can do multiple lead boxes for longer forms. So you can have someone hit their email, submit, and then they got to hit their first and last name, submit, and then they got to hit, and you can end up getting, a lot of information from people. So what I do is really simple. Headline 1, just copy the headline, the first 30 characters or what have you, the headline from your winning ad. Add or subtract words as needed. And then headline 2, a sentence that connects the headline 1 to puts the offer in context. So it might be lease a Tesla killer, save money and drive a better car today, right? And then the opt-in I put on the right side always. You could switch them, but on one side you put in the opt-in form that breaks down the details of the offer, and then on the left I put either a picture and a paragraph or a video with some text to describe the broader picture, the context. So it goes bold headline, like summary of offer, description of offer, story of offer, or benefits of offer, specifications of offer. So it might be lease a Tesla killer today. Find the most affordable, or find an affordable alternative to a Tesla today, something like that. And then it would break down in a large, header. People that lease electric cars are 6 times happier, or something like that. And then it would be all the benefits of leasing, as many as I can before I get to the bottom of the page. At the very bottom, I put the logos of companies or stats for a social proof, or reviews, some sort. It's a social proof banner at the very bottom of the screen. And then, so it might be like, don't worry about repairs. Know that you'll always have the latest version. We ensure all software is up to date, and never worry about a tire change or oil change again. And then on this thing, it'd be like, get 0.5% APY for 60 months, and then claim. And the button might say claim leasing offer now, or something like that. There's like a code, a reason you have to opt in, and then you click on it, and it's or you put in your email, and it sends you. You want to keep typically the first. You're getting marketing leads, not sales leads. So there's a lot more information you'll need for a sales prospect, but you're not there yet. You're just getting a marketing lead. So start with just email, and then go no larger. Then you could do email and first name, or email first name phone number, and that's it. That's like the most you want to ever get. That gives you enough information to make a sale later on, or to turn that marketing prospect into a sales prospect. And because you want the highest return, you want the lowest cost per lead from your ad spend. So you want to collect anyone who's remotely interested in this, and then convert as many of them as possible into a sales prospect later. And those are two distinct stages. So let's just say you put in your email and you click it, great, and then it'll redirect you to your homepage or leasing site or whatever, some URL or another product you might want to try selling this interested party, and then they get an email instantly with the coupon code or whatever, and they get added to a sequential email list, and in there at the bottom of each email would be, talk to a leasing agent today, something like that. You gotta test these buttons, but you need traffic to test it all. So once you get above whatever 3.5% on the landing page, you now have the fit. Because it might take, it took me, what am I on? My 4th landing page and my 8th landing page struck. I got one that got 1% before that. So it's like nothing, boom, 18%. Whoa, nothing, boom, 33%. Okay, let's run that one. That's way too high. Okay, it's settled to 23%. Awesome. Now we're talking, right? And so I ran 30 ads and 10 landing pages, and now I have market product fit. What keywords am I targeting? What offer or what am I advertising? And what's the actual offer that they are opting into? Because I need them to opt in to know that they actually cared a lot about what they clicked through in the original, and they didn't end up in some random place that wasn't totally off their search term, right? And I would more aptly put it this way. It's the market is the ad, the product is the landing page, your total marketing lead conversion rate is the amount of fit. And it's something that it's a third piece that tells you how good this product market combination is. But you're looking for these combinations. And so you can systematically do this for any product. And in the startup world, you have to be open, and you should be, and I'm sure you are open to pivoting. But what direction do you pivot in? Let the market tell you. Why are you attempting a random walk? It drives me crazy. The odds of landing on a viral business model, like an Airbnb, like an Uber, it's so low. You get very lucky once in a while, but it's so low. You can, however, systematically find that nerve, or more likely than not, the market you're in isn't as large, but you can find the product that fits the market's needs. The language, the feature sets, what do you call it? This all should be A/B tested. Not on your homepage, but on landing pages that are sent traffic, targeting specific audiences. That is your iterative guarantee for continuous improvement of market product fit. And it's not product market fit anymore in my head, because your product doesn't dictate. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. The only thing that matters is what people are willing to buy. They already know, even if they haven't verbalized it yet. You put something in front of them, they'll know if they want to buy it or not. And so you have to do that. You have to meet the market where it's at, and maybe then you can guide it on a 30-year journey. But even then, if you don't put the feature sets in your Apple iPhone that people are going to actually use, it doesn't matter, right? And so you could systematically test this for apps, for company names, for logos, for billboard advertisements, for video intros, brand color schemes, homepage layouts, on and on and on. Set up ads, look for the winning CTR. That's all you gotta do. Know that as long as you know the audience is the right audience you're targeting. And if you don't know, you do it this way. And then you get into the emails, and you have to, iterate in the emails too until you get a selling selling this email, but just send an email every day so that you know by the time someone buys to the 7th email, what's in the 7th email. Okay, now we can start playing, upplaying that. And this is a 30-day course, 30 emails, 30 topics, and I get to see which topic generates the most sales. What more could you ask for as a marketing leader? So with that today, 35 minutes, I think is great. Celebrate, life is great. I wish you all the best. If you have any questions, this is on YouTube for now. Make sure to leave a comment or whatever. But you know what? I take that back. I am not going to be answering. I totally forgot the new strategy. We're not going to be answering any questions in the YouTube comments. You have to join our paid membership community to get my answers for your specific business challenge. If it's not because if it's not benefiting our central community and supporting the staff and resources to make it happen, you're not serious enough, and we have plenty of free content for you to figure out on your own. I'm just not going to be focusing my energy there. I'm going to be focusing all my energy for these Q&A type stuff in the members community. So with that, download my real training manual below. And take the 30-day certification course. At the end, you'll get a quiz. If you can answer the quiz, you are a certified conversion marketer. And if not, you can go back, restudy, retake that thing. It's really just a point of reference to know you can start and in a real-world setting. And that real-world setting is where you will become an expert. This is just to get the lexicon, the language, and the theory down, okay? So, thank you everybody. I'll talk to you all soon, as in tomorrow.